Does anybody find it strange how desperately men are trying to get women to reconsider this whole single and childless thing? Because it doesn't make any sense. As a man, why are you so concerned about what women choose to do with their lives? It doesn't affect you in any way. If you want a wife, go get one. If you want children, hopefully your wife can give you some. Why are you desperately trying to convince women that it's to their detriment to not want a husband and to not want children? I mean, I already know why, but I want to see if men are truly as logical as they say they are, and if they're going to come to the logical conclusion for why a bunch of men who have nothing to do with how women live their lives are so concerned about women not wanting to be married and not wanting to have children. Let's hear it.
This is so crazy actually because I would never understand how or why a man can be so upset about single moms and child-free women at the same time. So basically they cry when women have kids and they also cry when women don't want to have kids. I think they need to take a stand and they're just being jealous and angry because women can't dictate their life for themselves and decide what they want their life to be or how they want their life to be.
I was watching this woman's video and she was saying that she's a woman over 30, and one question that she often gets asked by men is whether or not she has children and whether or not she wants any. And she always feels judged by those men when she says she doesn't have kids and doesn't want them in the future. They try to make her feel guilty or ashamed because she doesn't have that yearning, that desire to be a mom. She has no issue with children or anything. It's just the fact that she's already helped raise so many children and she realizes how much work that being a mom actually entails. What I think is interesting about this is some of the main men who are always trying to devalue or discredit women that don't want children, that want to be child-free, not childless, child-free as a choice. Those men aren't the kind of men that want to be active fathers. They want to take credit for the child's successes. They want to post a child on their social media, but they don't want to be involved in the day-to-day job of raising a child. Like so often, some of those same men sound exactly like this.
And you consider yourself a pretty involved parent?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So I'm just going to ask you some questions about your son.
Right.
And just answer them to the best of your ability.
I will do. No problem.
Very good.
Yeah.
What is your son's birthday?
No, that's a good one. That's a really good one because I don't know.
You really don't know his
No,
birthday?
I don't know his birthday.
What grade is your daughter going into?
9th grade.
What's the name of your daughter's school?
Ash Creek Elementary School.
No.
River Creek.
No.
Something Creek.
No.
What color are your daughter's eyes?
Brown.
All right, let's look. That is incorrect.
They're blue. I have a brown-eyed daughter, though.
Some of these men know nothing about their own children, where they go to school, their birthday, nothing. They don't know if the child has a peanut allergy, nothing at all. But yet they're shaming women because they don't want to have kids, because they can already tell before they even have kids, a lot of the responsibility is going to fall on them. You can't shame women for not wanting to be a married single mom. And a lot of them, that's what they want from you. They want to have a child with you to slow you down, have a child with you to bond you to them. They want to have a child with women for so many reasons, but it's not always that they want to be a father. They don't want anything to do with the child and the day-to-day life of that child. They just want to be able to say that they're a dad.
That dad actually needs to bury his face in shame. How can you not know what school your kids go to, or their birthdays and eye colors or medical conditions? I think these are the basic every dad needs to know. Because providing for your kids, it's not enough. You need to be there for them emotionally. You need to support them. You need to know what their goals are. You just can't get them toys and snacks or whatever thing you want to get them and you think, oh, it's enough. It's not enough. Every kid needs their dad to be involved in their life. I think it's high time men need to do better. This is also one of the reasons why women do not want to have kids anymore.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. This is one of the many reasons why single women and child-free women are shamed, because in this patriarchal social construct, you are supposed to be aligned with an owner. You're supposed to belong to someone. Someone is supposed to have a ring on you. Put a ring on it so that the world knows that you are the property of a male, of a man. And when you're walking around without your freedom papers or your ownership papers, your branding, you're shamed, because how dare you? How dare you be controlling the trajectory of your life? How dare you, as a woman, make your own choices and have the freedom to move to and fro without having to answer to an owner? How dare you? Because why would anyone feel offended or feel like there's something wrong with you because you're single without children? What does you being single and having children have to do with the other millions of men that have no interest in you? What is the point? Why are you being single and child free such a sore spot for them? And it's because in their eyes, you should be owned by someone. Someone needs to have you locked down to make sure that you women don't run amok and don't get yourselves caught up into all of the different fibers of society and start to run things, start to control things, start to display that you are actually more capable than most men of your peer. Yes, absolutely. This is why you're shamed, because they feel like marriage is the end all and be all. It's not. Marriage is just the beginning, to be honest with you. It's maintaining a marriage is where the work starts. But that's another topic. Peace.
There is a reason that men make fun of single women, whether it be a single mom or someone who has just chosen to never marry. And it's because they feel threatened. The more women who take that route, the less women there will be available to them. And they're afraid of other women looking at those women who are single and being like, oh, like she's actually pretty happy and satisfied, and then following suit. So they make fun of them and try to paint them in a bad light so that that doesn't happen. And the reason men want a larger dating pool is not because they actually like women and want to find like their soulmate or someone they love and they want to share their life with and they're afraid of being alone. Well, they are afraid of being alone, but it's because they don't know how to do things for themselves. They want a wife because they want someone to cook and clean for them and take care of everything and basically be their mother who they can also sleep with. Nothing makes a man angrier than seeing an older woman who is single and happy. And before men come in my comments like, I am married. I am married to a man. But if you don't want to be alone forever, you're just going to have to step up, because women are finally standing up for themselves and asking for more. And that more is what they've always deserved.
Some men can't imagine a scenario where they desire this woman, they want to be with her, but then again she denies them the access to herself. It makes them feel less of a man, I would say. But I'm so happy that ladies are beginning to stand up for themselves, speak for themselves, make decisions for themselves, regardless of whatever it's going on. Guide their hearts, put their mental health in check, guide their emotions. It's really good.
Why does it bother you so much that I don't want to have kids?
So this creator is talking about men specifically in her comments, and why does it bother them so much that some women choose to be child-free? And I believe this is because in a patriarchal society, both men and women have very defined roles. And the role of the woman is to submit to a man and have his children and be the homemaker and be of service to both her husband and her children. And on the other hand, men have this entitlement and the promise of having a wife and children, or maybe multiple wives, depending on the invisible daddy that you worship. So when women say, I don't want to have children, they are actively refusing to fulfill that role. And suddenly that makes them somebody outside of that system, a human being who is making her own choice about her own life. And this is very threatening on several aspects. One is because suddenly the entitlement of men to have a woman bear their children is shattered to pieces. Secondly, it's a step towards freedom from those societal rules that brings with them a societal validation. If a man cannot secure a wife who will bear him children, he also will not be validated by the society, and he will not achieve the status that he is desiring to achieve, which means some men will be undervalued by the society. It also means that women who decide to be child-free have time on their hands to venture into professional fields that were reserved and dominated by men before, and also to excel in those fields where before only men were excelling because only men were allowed to enter those fields. And so a woman in our society who is deciding to be child-free is a challenge to the whole structure. She's actively refusing to play a role that is a cornerstone of patriarchy, and she's placing herself outside. And the reason why so many men are uncomfortable with that is because they are willing to play the role that patriarchy assigns to them, despite how it makes them suffer.
This is Julia. She's 29 and recently posted a TikTok detailing a day in the life of a single millennial woman with no kids. She went to see Beyonce, woke up at 10 a.m. the next morning, a little hungover, scrolled her phone for a bit, and decided to learn how to make shakshuka. She planned a Real Housewives of New York rewatch and just wanted to give thanks for the ease of her life. Pretty inoffensive, right? This is Matt Walsh, a right-wing commentator who apparently had nothing better to do than criticize a woman for, checks notes, living her life. He posted Julia's video with this tweet. It's like whenever a woman on the internet declares that she actually enjoys being single or child-free, an alarm goes off for misogynists to come and try to convince everybody that she's wrong. Take Emily Ratajkowski, for example. She shared a TikTok about the benefits of being divorced before 30, and people called her delusional. And remember when Chelsea Handler did that segment about being childless and Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro tried to come for her? Women around the world are choosing to get married later or not at all. And according to one study, there are a lot of reasons for that, from fear of infidelity to increasing career opportunities and independence. Put another way, marriage used to be one of the few paths to stability for a lot of women, and that's just not the case anymore. Having kids and being married is great if that's what you want, but more and more women are finding their happiness in other ways, and I think that should be celebrated too.
I don't know why men feel frustrated that they can guilt women into having kids. So they can't trap the women and they can't be linked with that woman if the relationship is normal, you see. Because if a woman is in a relationship with someone and she doesn't see a future with that person, she can just up and leave, or she can end the relationship with that person, or she could just block the person, you see. But some men always want to be linked to that woman, and I think the easiest way he could get his way is if there is a child or if there are kids involved.
Hey ladies, just a quick question. Did I miss the memo? Why is it that when a woman says that she is happy being unmarried and child free, most men get triggered, and in the comment section they go like, wait till you get in your 50s and all you do is have a cat. Wait till you get to your 80s and you'd have no one. Why is it that men get so triggered when women say that they do not want to get married and they are happy being child free? It's like most men are grieving more than the bereaved. Like, it is my life. I am not your sister. I am not your daughter. Allow me to experience the so-called hypothetical regrets that you believe I will have when I enter my 50s or my 80s. Most of you men seem to be more worried for women who are happy being child-free and unmarried. Like, you go in the comments and people will spam an entire thesis, talking about, oh, you're going to regret it. When you're in your 50s, you're going to have a cat. Allow us to get to that age and regret it. I don't know how many times we have to echo this, that women hardly die alone. Even women who are never married and do not have children hardly die alone, because we are present aunties. I was present for the birth of my nephews and nieces. I am there during Thanksgiving. I am giving the birthday gift. I spend the summer with them. We never die alone. Most of you men who are even fathers end up dying alone, and when you grow enough and you are in the retirement home, most of you, your kids don't come. Even as fathers, men barely show up for their children. So I don't understand why most of you are so worried for women like me. Also, I had a man in the comment who posted that I have a very Western mindset and that women in non-Western cultures are happy being married. First of all, I want to acknowledge and be grateful for the fact that I live in North America and that I can actually plan my retirement and have a fruitful and a happy life without getting married and not having children. However, I am originally from Ghana, West Africa. Most of our mothers and our grandmothers were not happy in their marriages. This whole idea that women in non-Western cultures are happy in being married is a false idea. I say this because in most non-Western cultures, especially in the African culture, most of our mothers hang in their marriage mainly because of their children. That is because in the African context, children are parents' life insurance. And so most of our mothers, even though their marriage was not the best, they hang in there for the children and they ensured that their children became successful because their children are their life insurance. That is why if you ask any African mothers, they will tell you that their children are their source of happiness in their marriage. That is what they got. They trained their children so their children will become successful, so that they know that their old age is insured and they will be taken care of financially. That is the reason why most women in non-Western cultures get married and have children. It is not because they are happy in their marriage. It's because children are their life insurance and an assurance that they would be taken care of in their old age. Dear men, you have been accustomed to privilege, thinking that it was a privilege for you to marry a woman. Now the tides have changed and women do not need men to survive. A man is not a need, a man is a want. And so I can understand that most of you are grappling with the new reality. If you end up seeing videos of women who claim to be happy, unmarried and child-free, keep scrolling. No need to be crying more than the bereaved. My name is Dr. Zita. I am a sociologist. I am unmarried. I am child-free. Guess what? Hit the follow button.
Why do men feel so threatened when they see a woman who's child-free and happy? It's because they have lost their biggest tool of oppression. Children can absolutely be used as a form of oppression for women. The second you impregnate a woman, the second she gives birth, she now has no free time, probably has less money than she did before, has to take care of your kids. And I just have seen men actively use this like as a technique to oppress women. So I literally know men who have started cheating on their wives after they gave birth to their kids because they were like, oh, she's going to be so busy, she's not even going to notice now. But really what it comes down to is about the freedom of choice. When you impregnate a woman, you're taking away a lot of her freedom of choice, especially in terms of what she does with her time, what she does with her money. All of that choice and freedom is taken away from her. The reality is that the majority of caregiving is still done by women. When people give birth, the women are the ones who have to take care of the kids more than the men, usually. And honestly, some men just don't want women to have the freedom of choice of what to do with their time and their money.
One thing men hate more than women with children: single child-free women who don't center their lives around them. I mean, what else do I need to say? Just comment said everything. What else do I need to say? And until they understand why this whole male loneliness epidemic is only going to get worse. It's going to get worse because if they can't see why more and more women don't want children, don't want marriage, don't want to live with a man, would rather be single, etc., etc., if they don't open their damn eyes, I actually kind of feel sorry for them. I mean, not enough to do something about it, and not enough to do the work for them, but just enough to make me feel like, hey, maybe you should do something about it before it's too late. I said this before, but a lot of these people still think it's 1950. And they're wondering why they don't have their 1950s housewife who cooks and cleans and stays barefoot and pregnant. when that was like over 70 years ago.
Hey, what are your thoughts? Do you think ladies are doing the right thing, wanting to be a child-free woman, or single moms? Leave me a comment in the comment section, and thank you for watching. Bye. See you again in my next video.